Hi, my name is Ryan Scott here with Open Range RV. Exclusively here at Freedom RV in Tucson, Arizona. We're actually inside our most popular selling fifth wheel. It's called our 3X series. We do build a couple different floor plans within this realm. This is our most popular fifth wheel to date. It's actually faster turning than some of our travel trailers. It's called a 393 TBR. One of the very, very limited floor plans that you can find out there as far as a 3-bedroom unit. And I think what really is our secret sauce is really starting from the engineering department. We have a full engineer team from tip to tail. Our R&D department is actually going to build this exact same floor plan on our CAD system, and then we team up with our suppliers and really tailor it to what we want to get out of it. A lot of times the industry is kind of opposite of that. So in other words, we take our chassis supplier, for example, we say, build this for us. And that's going to really be ultimately going down the road a lot better than most. Most manufacturers do this cookie cutter mentality where all their chassis are the same. This chassis is actually designed per floor plan. So there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. But it's so cool to be able to tell you that because that's going to ultimately relate to towability. It's all about towability, which is why we use an H-rated tire. H-rated tire is going to give you the best tread in the business. It's an 18-ply tire. It's also going to give you a 6-year warranty. So we're a company that's going to do the research for you. We're not just doing everybody else's mentality as that cookie cutter goes. So we're R&D'ing these coaches. They're all exclusively designed per floor plan and the chassis is going to match it. We're giving you the best tire and axle combo in the business. Not only is an H-rated tire, we're also going to use Dexter axles on top of that. Dexter, if you do your homework online, they've got a great reputation since 1960, and they're also going to give us a 5-year warranty. So the best tire and axle combo in the business. So again, going back to the towability aspect, this coach is going to weigh in at a nice 15,000 pound dry weight. We definitely don't limit what you can put in it. It's about 2,500 pounds of payload depending on the options. And that's another thing that we do best is giving a lot of bang for your buck for what you get. You know, obviously we talked about this being 3-bedroom. It's a very exclusive floor plan to us. But really what makes the 3X stand out is the way we build it, you guys. This has a full-time warranty. We understand that there's a lot of people that are full-timing. You can live in this and not affect the warranty. I think that goes a long way. You also have a 3-year structural warranty, so anything that, God forbid, happens to the structural integrity of the unit, we are going to cover. And that's just the value of confidence that you're going to get with the 3X. The reality is, if you look at some of these other manufacturers, I would never bash another brand, but do your homework first. Find out those warranties and what they provide, because that's ultimately going to give you peace of mind. Not a lot of manufacturers are still giving you that 3-year structural warranty. They only give you 1. And one of the things that we're talking about with construction, you know, whether you're just a weekend warrior type camper or you're actually full-time, and you're really going to appreciate this, that 3X does mean something. It basically means the thickness of the sidewall. We have over 2.5 inches of sidewall thickness. Again, do your homework on this. There's customers out there that are looking at 200,000 plus units, and they're not going to give you the same construction that a 3X gives you. So I think that's peace of mind. I think it really goes a long way with the testimony of what we're bringing to the table. Again, giving you more value behind the scenes than what you don't see. And then from there, we're going to give you thermal blankets in a lot of different areas. We're protecting the roof with astral foil or flex foil is what you call it. You know, you're familiar with that reflective blanket material. We wrap all our tanks with that same material. Not only are our sidewalls thicker, we also put all of our shades here. They also have a reflective blanket behind the actual shade. So whether you're here in Arizona or in a colder temperature, it doesn't matter where you're at across the nation, you're going to really appreciate a 3X because you're going to get better insulation value. That combined with the bigger BTUs is what we're throwing into this, which basically means 40,000 BTUs in the furnace. You've got a 5,000 BTU electric fireplace. So you have 45,000 BTUs of furnace and heat source, and you also have 45,000 BTUs of AC. So there's 15,000 BTU ACs here that are really going to be benefiting you, again, whatever type of application you're looking for. So again, I think that really goes to show you we're really standing behind the product. We're giving you more bang for your buck than most of the other manufacturers out there that are going to give you a little limited in sidewall thickness. They're not going to give you a lot of the same things that we do. And really it's going to be all about making that coach cooler in the summertime, warmer in the wintertime, and really having that extended season to your ability. One of the secret sauces, as I like to call it, with this coach is, you know, you're going to see a very massive slide here. It's very deep and it's very tall, right? One of the things that we attribute that to is the type of slide that it is. You get a full compression from top to bottom on this type of slide. And not only that, you get a lot deeper slide. We're one of the deepest slides in the industry at 42 inches. Most manufacturers are at 30 or 35 inches. So it's, again, we're just giving you more bang for your buck. That on top of it being a wide body chassis, so you're on 102 wide body versus 98. You're just going to get, again, more bang for your buck going down the road. Every single countertop is going to be solid surface. Whether you see that in the kitchen area, you have that all throughout the coach, including the bathrooms as well. We think that that's a really a no-brainer when it comes to being residential style. One of the other things that we really attribute to our success to is having name brand parts and appliances. You know, you're going to have, again, a 6-year warranty on tires, 5 years on axles. We don't stop there, giving you Coleman Mach ACs. We're giving you GE style appliances. This actually has an optional 12-volt refrigerator, which you can get from us, or you can go with the GE 110 version. Nice thing about that is really giving you that application on whatever you want to get out of this coach. The beauty behind having anything 110, of course, you need big power for. This also has an 1800 watt inverter, you guys, so that's standard on every 3X series. So that's going to be really beneficial, converting that 12 volt power into residential power, some of that 110 power that you're really going to really need. And again, I think it's really nice to be able to say, hey, whatever you're looking for in a fifth wheel, we have an auto level system that's awesome. You can just touch a button. You're going to notice up here in the bedroom area that you have a one-touch. This is basically on a command center. Basically, it's going to power everything inside your coach, from the ACs to the furnace, to the awnings, to the slides. So it's really a nice universal feature that you can actually have to your fingertips and have any type of troubleshooting, anything like that, really here on this mainstay. If you want to keep going down here, you're going to notice on the floor there's no heat ducts in the main floor. That's one thing that's going to be beneficial if you're, if you have a big family, you like to go out camping, you like to entertain maybe. It's going to be easier to clean. That along with that solid surface material, it's going to be a lot easier to clean as well. The number one used item in any RV is going to be the entrance door. The number two item is going to be your cabinetry, right? So we do a really good job of giving you quality. And what I mean by that is be more specific, is these are all real wood, hardwood doors. Let's be honest, you're going to be using these a lot. I've never had one person say, Ryan, you talked about too much storage. You can't have enough storage inside this coach. And I like to just open up every single cabinet and show you not only that these are real wood, but a lot of times I like to show this off because, again, a lot of manufacturers don't do it the way we do. These are all screwed together, right? A lot of times, believe it or not, in this price point, you do have those ribbon staples that you run into behind these cabinet doors, and that's just going to really not bode well for longevity, right? You really want to have a solid door. Of course, the hidden hinges really go a long way. You can actually adjust these over time. So we're really spending our money where it counts. We're investing in the product. We're giving you longer lasting items, not just giving you a bigger, better platform as far as the way we build it with the thicker sidewalls, but we're giving you plywood in the floors. We use very little OSB. So you're going to see something from us that's going to be quality behind the scenes, but also what you can see, touch, and feel, you're also going to appreciate with the, look how much storage is in this. You have a trash can drawer here. You've got a dishwasher, which is, again, something you're going to see out of a residential style, whether it be a motorhome or a fifth wheel. But again, the price point that this fifth wheel hits is very strategic, but we're not sacrificing while doing it, right? So if you do your homework online, I encourage you to do this. It's the whole entire, whether it's the parts that come together that make it, it's the construction aspect, it's the warranties that are backing that. I think the warranties are just a value of just the confidence level of us, the manufacturer, and giving you more bang for your buck like we talked about. This is actually a really cool setup here. So with the deeper slide, you have a whole array of electric theater seating items here, so which is really nice. Most manufacturers are going to give you maybe a standard dinette and a sofa. I think this what really moves the needle here with this particular unit. So if you're an entertainer, you really want to have this to your discretion. Of course, this comes with tables. You can remove them. You can have a lot of people here. You still have a standard sitting area, so you can play a little bit of games, boardroom games during the day. Just have maybe a nice little intimate evening if you're a couple. Really a lot of versatility with this particular product. Again, storage is abundant, right? We talked about not having enough of it. This actually has a hidden pantry, which I think is really, really cool. Nice little light up LED light there to the left. And again, just something that you can't talk enough about. That massive pantry is going to bode well for a unit this size. As we come up in here, this is really what's really cool about this unit. So obviously there's a top loft up here. Maybe get a picture of that. And obviously if you have any type of, like I said, entertainers, big families, you know, let's face it, a lot of people are extended season anymore, so it's really going to give you a lot of versatility. So this is actually a drop-down chassis here in the back. And you have a whole nother room here. It's kind of mirroring this on the opposite side. So whether you have kiddos back here playing games, you know, the pocket doors are really nice. Parents equally like this as much as the kids do. So it's really just almost a separate unit here in the back area. And again, ton of storage to be able to accommodate. Nice little room for a TV here. Again, hardwood doors throughout the entire unit. This does turn into a little bed, of course, you know, at night if you want to do that. And as we walk over here to the other section, a whole nother room. And what's nice about this is you also have the same type of bed set up here. So this does turn into a bed, but also you have a top bunk here. So at the end of the day, you can sleep a lot of people inside this 3X393. And again, windows are abundant. We went with these squared windows, kind of give you a more automotive feel. But having every window ventilate is something that's important to us as well. So we're spending the money where it counts and just giving you a better camping experience. I think that's what it's all about. Another room for a TV here. And as you pan behind us, you have a bathroom, right? So you really have the best of both worlds. So you obviously have a pocket door here, and anybody can virtually get to this bathroom. So you do have a full bathroom here. I think that's important to talk about too, where this is accommodating a shower as well. Again, solid surface is going to be a must. And you know, it's something that really a lot of manufacturers aren't going to do. They're going to give you maybe a toilet back here, but not a shower. So it's really kind of a mud room, if you will, if you have any type of extended season, any uncle or aunt that wants to stay. You literally have everything here on the back area to be able to accommodate, right? Of course, porcelain potty, which really goes a long way. We have all PEX plumbing water lines. One of the things that we do in-house is we fully test these. And you would think that that's a no-brainer in the RV business. It's actually not. So we're gas testing them, we're water testing them, we're electrical testing every single unit that comes off of our production line. We're very grateful to tell you that. It didn't happen overnight. It probably slows down the production line, but we're taking our time and building something that's going to be quality and be longer lasting than the others. And I think that's just peace of mind. Of course, the dealer that you buy from is going to give you a pre-delivery inspection is what they call it. But every single unit goes down our production line and goes through our quality control bay. So we're just giving you a better unit out of the gate. I think that that really bodes well. In fact, we spend close to $400,000 just on water a year. And of course, we recycle that water. We're always about the environment. But what's really neat about that is we're spending money where it counts. Every single unit on our production line, every single production run rather, gets rain bay tested. So again, that's something that you may have seen in the past with other manufacturers, and it's just kind of gone away by the wayside. We're very, very adamant about making sure that these are engineered properly. Like I said, we're teaming up with our chassis supplier. These are ultimately all universally designed per floor plan. We know that weight is symbolic of floor plan, and so we're going to put more reinforcement in the weight where that counts. And so that really bodes well with everything, right? It bodes well with the ultimately the towability of the unit, because we always want our fresh water tanks to go in between the axles. We know where gray tanks go. We know where black tanks go. And so we're very strategic when we're building a certain floor plan. It all starts with the chassis. And so it's very important for you to know that before you purchase something else. As you come over this way, watch your step here. Of course, pocket doors, nice and private. This is dual posting. This actually has 5 slides, which is really, really cool. And this is something else. Again, we talked about GE appliances and how they're important. GE does not have an RV division, right? So we actually buy these as a residential style. So whether it's the microwave, the oven, again, the options are there for the refrigerator. But this is something that is unique to us. Most manufacturers, even in this price point, they're going to give you maybe an upgraded backsplash with plastic. They a lot of times will give you a big piece of wallpaper. This is actually real tile, you guys. So again, anything that I can really look at and relate to being residential, that's really what we're all about, right? So it's something that you're going to really appreciate if you're cooking spaghetti, anything like that, that's going to be easier to clean, but giving you that nice residential feel. And again, we're not skipping any corners. You can tell the difference between us and them. As you come over here, nice, really big upgraded sink. You got a lot of places to cook here if you like to entertain. Another thing that I really like to show off here in the mainstay area is the vacuum. And that's something that typically manufacturers are kind of foregoing. I mean, they might give you a little portable, but that actually goes with the unit, just like the rear ladder does. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers taking away rather than they're giving. So we're going to be, again, a little bit more bang for your buck. One thing I like to point out too is we're starting to do this standard as the max air vents. And anybody that's had a travel trailer or fifth wheel before, you understand the value behind a max air vent. I mean, those guys do it really, really well. It's going to move a lot of that airflow. Maybe if you're on a hot day, maybe not so hot, you don't have to run the ACs as much. It's really going to help promote that airflow. You have one in the back, one here in the mainstay, and one here in the bathroom in the main. You come up here. And this is really an awesome bedroom, you guys. There's a couple different features I like to point out. This tilt bed system, a lot of times, people are a little reluctant to go to a bed that kind of, bends. And I understand the power of a mattress. I've always kind of, grown up in this industry, and you really don't go out of your way to seek out an RV for the mattress. It's one thing that we're breaking the mold with. This is very comfortable, you guys. I encourage you to go out to your local dealership and test one of these out. Again, it's not just having that really thin fabric. This really goes a long way. We've teamed up with the right suppliers and making sure that you're comfortable throughout the entire unit. This is no different. So this tilting bed setup is really cool. It really just opens up the floor plan. I mean, you could basically have a dance studio in here. It's so cool. You have storage galore, right? Again, you can't talk enough storage. I mean, just in this main area, you have 5 drawers here, 2 here. You do have a place for washer, dryer. And again, that's up to you if you wanted to do that. Of course, with the bigger gray tanks, you can do that with ease. And you'd have to do a little bit of our aftermarket addition here, but it definitely has the room for it. And the most important part is the plumbing is here as well. So you obviously need that water coming in and the gray water going out. But I think this is a testimony to what we do best, is giving you more bang for your buck. I know you've heard that today from me several times, but again, it's proof is in the pudding, right? One of the things I like to point out too is we talked about the BTUs and the ACs. So we have 3 15K BTU ACs. We use a Whisper Quiet Air system, which I think is just, it's been proven, right? There's a lot of AC technology out there, which we're very grateful for. But really, the Whisper Quiet Air is in the name, right? So it's basically taking all the hot air away, right? Sucking it up in through these vents and then dispersing it throughout your entire ductwork. So, and as you can see, we have a plethora of different ducts all the way throughout the entire unit. So something that's proven. We're going to be a little old school at times, but again, we're going to really give you a product that we stand behind, and that's no different from the teamwork that we use throughout our supply group. You're also going to see JT strong arms from us. I mean, that's something that most manufacturers are not doing. That along with the auto level system, you're just going to have a more stability when you're inside this coach. And it's just a no-brainer to do that from us, and we've done it since the debut of this product, and we're not going to stop. So again, I encourage you to do your homework. It really is just not just, isn't it pretty, don't you want to buy it? There's a lot of method behind our madness, and we want to let you know about that before you buy something else. Let's face it, there's a lot of brands out there, but there's not a lot of brands of what the 3X encompasses in general and everything you see, touch, and feel here. One of the things I like to point out here in the bathroom area, of course, having a little side aisle bathroom is awesome. You got storage here. Again, another porcelain toilet down below. But this is something, again, that I think really is a game changer for us. Most manufacturers have this universal size mentality where they're all buying the same bathrooms and showers and all this. So it is really nice to have this universal kind of this residential feel. But look how big this bathroom is. I mean, very seldom can you go in any bathroom and do this on both sides, right? And that's just a testimony, just again, giving you bigger is better, right? Especially when it comes to bathrooms. And again, this is going to be a bigger bathroom than most. You got the nice glass shower doors. It's going to help just give you that more high-end feel. And then on the bottom of this, which you don't see, we actually reinforce this, right? So we're not just honing in on the supplier itself with that stability, but we're going to give you pieces of the sidewall that are cut out, as well as 2x4s underneath here. So that's going to give you a lot more stability, a lot more peace of mind, especially when you have water here. You really don't want any water intrusion. Again, that's going to be a plywood floor. We use plywood on almost everything that we build, and really kind of changing the game there too. A lot of manufacturers are quick to use OSB in certain areas, and some lower grade materials, which are not going to be as important as talking about treated plywood at the end of the day. So as we get out of this, again, solid surface here in the bathroom area. You have a nice little European bowl here, but again, you've just got storage galore. You got storage behind here. You do have a fantastic fan, which we talked about down below, and the importance there. They're all standard features. And guys, I encourage you to take a look at any other fifth wheel out there and do your homework, right? Thank you for your time and watching this video. And of course, there's a whole bunch more to talk about. But again, think about all the things that we talked about, from the chassis being universal to the actual floor plan itself, from the tires to the wheels, the enclosed underbelly, the bigger tank sizes. I mean, all of that should be really a part of your checklist. And again, everybody kind of does it for different things. We're here to build memories, you guys, and we appreciate you taking a look at this video. Come check us out at Freedom RV in Tucson. All right, we're here at the 3X393, and one of the things I like to talk about is storage. I have never had one person say, Ryan, you talked about too much storage. You can never talk enough about it. We're going to give you a lot of different aspects on the outside as well as the inside. And obviously, we do a really good job of giving you a lot of university with what we have here. So we basically have a spot for a generator if you want to add that down the road. A lot of times we'll pre-wire it for that particular application. One of the things here I like to point out is the JT Strong Arms. That's just going to give you a lot more stability. Let's face it, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that don't boast this particular setup. And it's designed to really just keep that as sturdy as possible. And you're going to get that with the JT Strong Arm kit. You also have a nice way to be able to point this out with any RV. You have the bigger propane bottles. You have dual 40-pound on both sides, so kind of evening out the playing field there, but not also really giving you the best of both worlds on both sides, and not eating up a lot of this internal space here on the inside. So I like to point this out is plywood, right? You do a really good job of giving you plywood across the board. There's going to be plywood in your floor, plywood on top of the roof. Very, very little OSB, in fact, none. And that's just going to bode well, just giving you a longer lasting product. We do use a thicker linoleum than most, so it's commercial grade. It's going to give you a lot more durability if you have kiddos, anything like that. It's going to be stain resistant, really a lot longer lasting material. You're also going to see a water filtration system from us, as well as an 1800 watt inverter, you guys. It's going to be beneficial, converting a lot of that battery power into items on the inside. This does have a 12 volt refrigerator. We do have a 110 refrigerator, so it's going to be beneficial in that regard as well. One of the things that I like to point out too here is, we like to cook at home and on our family, and we do a lot of camping ourselves. So again, nice outside griddle, really nice and universal. It's with you at all times. You don't have to, piecemeal it or anything like that. It goes in and out with ease. You do have a hot and cold feature on the shower. That's one thing that we're noticing a lot of manufacturers are going away from. They're just giving you a little spray port, and you don't get that hot feature. Let's face it, it does cost quite a bit of money to bring the heat. And people are going to like that, whether you like to go to the lake or the beach or anything like that. This does have a onboard vacuum, which is really cool. So again, I found that most manufacturers are kind of going away from that. They maybe give you one that you leave at home. This actually is hard to leave at home when it's inside the coach. One of the things I like to point out too is the thickness of our baggage storage. Check how thick that is, right? And again, let's face it, this is your bedroom, right? So we're doing a really good job of giving you insulation across the board. I mean, this is all laminated here, you guys. I mean, this is laminated just like, it's actually a vacuum bond process, so it's a lot different from laminated. Vacuum bonding is going to be a better application in our mind. And again, with that thicker sidewall and with that vacuum bond system, it's virtually going to eliminate a lot of that inevitable leakage over time. Of course, you want to check your seals on top of your roof once a year, if not twice. But you really want to have that peace of mind and not have a flimsy baggage store like some of the rest do. And maybe if you're lucky, a 1 or 1.5 or 2 inch thick sidewall, we're giving you 50% more in construction build, whether that comes down to our floor application, our roof application, or our sidewalls, and that's where that 3X comes in. But really a nice way to just really have longevity, but not only that, just have more peace of mind if you're in a hotter area or colder area. As you come around this way, I want to point out these two features. These stickers really mean a lot. One is the 3-year structural warranty. Look at some of your manufacturers out there today. They're still just giving you a 1-year structural warranty. And in my mind, that's just the confidence of the build from us, right? It's the highest in the industry, and we're going to point that out because we're very confident in this product. We've built it for a long time, and we want to give you that peace of mind. If you're looking at something else, it's something that really bodes well, and think about the value that that brings to the table. Here's another thing. This is actually warranted for full-time use. There's some manufacturers out there, again, I won't name any names, but do your homework on your own, that they will actually void your warranties if they find out you're living in it, right? So something that we're not going to really limit at all. You can actually use this however you want it, and we're going to back it up by saying it right on the door. Nice entry assist handle. You've got the MORryde steps. Boy, I wish these came out a long time ago because your feet are going to really appreciate this. So something that's really a no-brainer for us, easier to get into, along with the thicker, wider door. You're really going to have not a problem at all getting up inside this. And notice there's 4 steps here. This is a higher coach, and we're not going to cheapen it up on you by giving you a smaller inferior door, inferior steps, or something like this. It's going to be really easy to use over time. Notice you have 2 awnings on this coach, which are really nice. Of course, you have 5 slides on this coach. It's a lot of slides, and a lot of them they'll put the awning over the slide, which obviously is okay, but you don't want. If it gets windy, anything like that, it could tear. So we're giving you 2 awnings to be able to really enjoy the fun side of the coach. We're on the 393 3X. So we build a couple different ways to be able to build these floor plans. We actually, again, tailor to this actual floor plan. So the chassis is custom to the actual floor plan itself. And that's just gonna bode well throughout the entire unit. In fact, we use a lot of different types of slides for that reason as well. The cable slide is really gonna give us a lot more peace of mind in the fact that it's full 4-corner compression. So it's actually pulling from the top as well, and that's going to be peace of mind if it's a rainy day like this. You're going to be a lot less likelihood to get debris down in there or water intrusion. But also the cable slide allows us to have the deepest slide in the industry at 42 inches. Most manufacturers are going to be 30 or 35. So just giving you a bigger coach. This is also on a wide body chassis. So again, we're giving you more bang for your buck going down the road. Of course, you got a back end door here going into the bathroom. A lot of people like that. LED tail lights. This hitch is rated for 3,000 pounds, which is nice. You have a lot of people that like to have e-bikes, that sort of thing. You can have a little trailer behind you, depending on the state. An onboard ladder, believe it or not, it might sound silly, but a lot of manufacturers are going away from the ladder. Not us. We're big fans of checking the roof on top once a year, if not twice a year, in a climate like this, just to check the seals on top. But again, we're not bashful to put a ladder on top along with that 4,500 pound weight limit on top of that roof. That's incredible, you guys. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers that don't boast that. So 4,500 pounds is a lot of weight. That's on top of the PVC roof that we use. So the PVC material is going to be a great application for us. It also gives our customer a full limited lifetime warranty, which is awesome. As we come over here, of course, this coach has a 50 amp service. 3 ACs like we talked about. You're definitely going to need that for this type of application. And even our sidewalls are vacuum bonded here on the slide outs, as well as on the rear wall. So again, you're not having any hung walls or anything like that. It's really what we found is most proven is the vacuum bonded system. And again, there's a reason why $500,000 motorhomes are vacuum bonded sidewalls and not pinch roll. As you come over this way, nice ventilating windows. We talked about, I don't know if you can get a picture of this, but see that flex foil, that Astro foil that's behind every single one of those privacy shades. So that's going to be really boding well in a hot climate, kind of keeping all that cool air inside the unit. I think this is really neat, you guys. God forbid there's ever an issue with your refrigerator, whether it's 12 volt or 110. You have an access panel here on the outside. So what that means is God forbid, again, there's ever an issue. Again, we use the best appliances we can get our hands on, but the peace of mind aspect is service tech's not going to have to go through your entire unit and get it all muddy and dirty. They can actually access it here and troubleshoot whatever the problem is. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see this from other manufacturers, which is really nice. A couple things here. Of course, we have the on-demand hot water heater. Most manufacturers have it. I think it's awesome that we have this technology in the RV business today. Just be mindful, obviously, that water goes somewhere, but we do have bigger tanks for a reason. But that's something that's really, really come a long way, and we're very grateful to have it on board. This is something that also goes a long way for our buyer. And this is just where all your magic happens on the outside, right? Again, another hot and cold feature. Shower, you get one on each side of the unit. And this is all in one enclosed, a lockable door. So if you're a campground person, you like to just have peace of mind. You have your hose coming up through here, of course, and you have a lock here, right? So it's really cool to be able to have that. I think, you know, we live in a day of age where we have to be mindful of where we're at all times, but nobody's gonna really mess with your stuff. It's gonna be harder to get access from a stranger behind a lockable door. You have all of your access panels here. You have 2 black tank flushes, universal style, really depending on what kind of application you're doing, whether it's campground people or you're actually dry camping, you have the best of both worlds, and all your tanks applications are right here. One thing I like to point out again on this side is, and we talked about this a little bit, but the 1800 watt inverter, the water filtration system, as well as a 12 volt disconnect. Here's your auto level feature here. And this is really cool, you guys. It has an onboard computer system in it. You just touch a button and it levels itself. But not only that, it will have a memory built into it that you can actually tailor to the size of your truck, right? So it's really nice to be able to have that technology. You just basically do it one time and it will remember where your truck size is, depending on if you have a lifted truck or any type of truck that you may have. So obviously you just want to make sure that you can tow something of this size, and your local dealer will help you with that process as well. So